What we're going to do today is the Sonoff bridge. And not just flashing the Sonoff bridge with Tasmota, but flashing the Sonoff bridge with Tasmota and then with the Portisch, which I don't know why I struggle so much to say that. Portisch. Probably because SCH is usually the way you start a word, not the way you end a word, so it really throws me off. I try and put it in the middle like Portisch. Anyways. Okay, so the Sonoff RFBridge. First, let me tell you what has brought this about. Why am I all of a sudden interested in putting Portisch on the Sonoff bridge? Staying on focus today. We are staying on focus. Focus. I did several different videos about getting like blinds and stuff to work. I thought I was satisfied with my shades situation. They worked well. I had the DC motors and the in-stop switches, and they worked well for a while. But then, anyways, we're down to like 3 of the 7 windows that are actually working. So I've been looking at new solutions again. And the solution that I came across that I really want to get working, this is a battery-powered, rechargeable window shade motor. It's this guy right here, Zemismart, and with an optional solar panel. So with a solar panel, it's $100. Without the solar panel, it's like $60. For me, I would buy one solar panel and just move it so that it's charging different blinds or different shades different times. So this thing is almost perfect. There's a couple things that to discuss about it. One of them is the end of it. See that end of it? That's a 3D printed end. And that's because there's a conspiracy among window shades manufacturers. They make the diameter of the window shades pole, like the bar that you use, the pipe. The inside diameter is 38 millimeters, which is about 1.5 inches. But if you want to make your own shades, like I do, or like I already did, with something cheaper, you're out of luck. There's like nothing that is exactly 38 millimeters or 1.5 inches inside diameter. I tried several different kinds of pipe, PVC and conduit and a bunch of different stuff, and nothing's quite exactly the right size, which is too bad because, you could buy like a 1-inch PVC pipe, which makes a perfectly good shade rod, but it doesn't fit these motors. So that's kind of stinky. So the solution is you make your own little ends on it, and this actually fits inside of a 1-inch PVC. Problem 1, shade manufacturers have a conspiracy to force us to buy their aluminum stuff, which is really expensive. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like that, Raspy, like buying 10 hot dogs and getting 8 buns. It's like that. It's like, come on, man. You out to try and get us. The other issue that I have with this is how am I going to get it into Home Assistant? I actually got this idea from watching Hookup Rob's video about blind motors and stuff, shade motors. He talks about this particular one and he says, but it's RF, which means you can use it with like a Sonoff bridge or something like that. Whoa, shouldn't have done that. The problem is it doesn't actually work that way. The Sonoff RF bridge, there are 2 chips on the bridge. One is the ESP8285, which is the same thing as the 8286. It just has the memory on the inside instead of the outside of the chip, something like that. But it basically flashes the same. So you can flash Tasmota on it. And I did. I flashed Tasmota on my Sonoff RF bridge years ago, and it's just been chugging along. It's been one of the most stable parts of my home automation system. I've got some motion sensors and some door sensors that communicate with it, but it's been working fine. I haven't needed it to do anything else, and so I've just left it alone. The second chip on the bridge is the RF chip, the chip that handles the decoding, I suppose, of the RF signals. And it has firmware on it that Sonoff made, and it is limited in which devices it can decode the signals from. So some people, in their ultimate wisdom, have come up with a different firmware for that chip. And that's this Portisch. Portisch is firmware that goes on the RF chip on the bridge. So it's not Tasmota. and it doesn't go on the ESP8285 chip. It goes on the other chip. So it's a different flashing process. What it does ultimately is enable you to receive a whole bunch of additional codes from RF devices, 433 megahertz devices. When I got this fancy shades motor and tried to use the remote to get a signal on my RF bridge that's flashed with Tasmota, I didn't get any signals. So I thought, well, let's try this Portisch, and we'll expand the number of devices that this thing can read from, and then hopefully I can use this motor with Home Assistant. Finally, after years, decided to bite the bullet and flash this Portisch firmware on my RF bridge. So that's what we're going to do now. I've got here a unflashed Sonoff RF bridge. Okay, here is my Sonoff RF bridge, and I am just taking off these little pads and the screws behind there. You don't need to watch that. It's not that exciting. So here's this RF bridge. It's got this little LED on it and this little foamy guy. You can just peel that guy off. There's a switch here. The switch has an on and an off, and this is what separates the other chip, which I believe is this guy over here, the RF chip communication. So when we flash this initially with Tasmota, I'm pretty sure we want this off. And then the pins that we want are these pins underneath this LED. Okay, so there's different flashing pins here, and there's some flashing pins, or that looks like flashing pins, over here, and those are for the RF bridge. So what we're going to do is use these to flash Tasmota on this first and foremost. First and foremost. That sounds very complicated. So I will answer a question about the Broadlink Pro because that is relevant. I can still, and I tried again yesterday multiple times, I still cannot get my Broadlink RM Pro to learn RF codes. I did it like 2 years ago, and then I didn't use it, and now I cannot get it to relearn RF codes. It is killing me, but it won't do it. Now I'm gonna bust out my flasher. Okay, the flasher of flashiness, my FTDI adapter that I've used to flash many things. These markings are right here. 3 volts, RX, TX, ground. So that starts all the way up here. So this square pin is the 3 volt pin. But the button here is GPIO 0, so you can hold down the button when you plug it in. So I'm going to hold down that button, and then I'm going to plug in my FTDI adapter. Ready, set, go. All right, now I can let go of the button, and I can go to ESP Home Flasher, which has been the one I've used. For some reason, the Tasmota flasher always crashes on my computer. You should go get the latest version of Tasmota. Make sure you have the previously flashed Tasmota binary built with RF flash. Regular old Tasmota.bin, it has that RF flash. So that's all we need. We're just going to grab that. Now, we go back here, browse. There we go. All right, Tasmota.bin. Now let's just see if it works. Let's just see if I did it right and we flash it. Bingo. It's flashed. It worked. Yay, it worked. Now we hopefully can go to my little network over here, which you guys can't see, and we should be able to find a Tasmota something. If I need to, I'll just unplug this and plug it back in, and hopefully the access point should show up over here. I'm getting a blinking light. That's not, there it is, Tasmota. All right, you guys, oh yeah, you can sort of see that right there by my ear. So I can connect to this, and this is going to be the access point for the RF bridge now. All right, and then we go to 192.168.4.1, and we will be greeted with the Wi-Fi page, right? And you put in your Wi-Fi stuff here, and we're going to change the host name to, this is my third RF bridge, actually. RF Bridge, the third. Okay. That way it'll show up in my router with that name and I can see it. We can go, in this case, we're going to go to my router and we're going to find the IP address of this thing. You could also go to Tasmo Admin in the Home Assistant add-on, Tasmo Admin, and just do a new search and it would find it if you didn't have access to your router or if you didn't like poking around in your router. Stay on target. Stay on target. You think I get a copyright violation for that? And there it is, RF Bridge the third. 144 is the IP address. All right, we're going to go here. We're going to go to configuration, configure module, and we're just going to grab the RFBridge, which is number 25 right there. Sonoff bridge. Save. Done. That will put all the right pins doing all the right things. So you don't have to worry about anything else. This is now our Sonoff bridge, Tasmotized on the latest version of Tasmota. And actually, there's nothing else we need to do in here. I'm going to power this thing off for right now. Boom. We got to do a little bit of manhandling on this board. There are two versions of the RFBridge. There's a R1 and an R2. I have the R2. The R1 is different, and I don't know if you have to do this or not. So the USB port sends GPIO 4 and 5 up here, and it connects to the chip, and it goes to GPIO 4 and 5. No matter what you do, you don't need that. So we're just going to cut these little strips here so that we can use GPIO 4 and 5 in the process for flashing the RF chip. When you've got this RF flash thing, RF flash activated in Tasmota, it's going to let us update this other chip with the Portisch firmware through the over-the-air firmware flashing on Tasmota user interface. Pretty sweet. So you don't need we're not going to need to connect our FTDI adapter or anything else again. We're going to send these pins to, I think it's these two over here. And that's how we're going to get the new firmware on the new chip, on the RF chip, okay? So in the meantime, we just need to cut these across there. I don't know what everybody's favorite way of scraping off tracings on the circuit board is. To me, that is pretty clear that I severed those. Sorry about the focus, and sorry about the crappy camera. Okay, so there you go. The next thing we're going to do is grab the Portisch firmware releases. Sorry, there it is. February 20th of 2019. So it's a year and a half old. So, added the Keku protocol. Okay, we'll give it a go. This is the part that I was surprised about. It says the on-off switch on the board to off to turn off the RF. That actually didn't work for me. When it worked was when I had it on. This is the correct way. The pin on the right goes to the one on the right over here. The pin on the left goes to the one on the left over here. And our switch is turned on, not off. Now we're going to go to the Tasmota user interface here. And we're going to go to firmware upgrade. This is what we do. We try stuff. And it's okay to fail. It's okay. That is working. We did it! There it is. Upload successful. We did it! We are amazing! That wasn't so bad. Why are we doing this? Because we want to get massive amounts of codes. I can take these jumpers off now. I can leave that there. Now it's just powered up. It's just ready to go. Let me grab an RF remote. So I've got here one of these just generic little RF remotes. Okay. So this is what the firmware does. Icafar. This is what the firmware does. This one's for you, buddy. When I press this, actually I have to set it in, I have to put it into learn mode, I think. Here we go. RF raw space 177 and then enter. And now it's sort of in this learn mode. And now when I press one of these buttons, it won't just give me this short little code that it used to give me. It'll give me this big long thing. It's not working. It's not working. Maybe I need to restart it. Let's try that. Oop. Oop. Oh, it beeps now. It didn't used to beep. So let's try the RF raw again. Okay, there it goes. Boom. Prior to using this Portisch firmware, you would get a code like this. You would get some like 5 or 6 digit code, and it was very simple. But you could only get it from certain devices. I'll do the fail just for more. But now we get this raw data, and the raw data is all of this. So what that means is now with other devices that prior to the Portisch firmware, you couldn't use the Sonoff RFBridge to receive and send codes. Now you can. That's why we did this. Okay. Magic remote. Go. Reese, you freaking genius. You freaking genius. You did it. You did it. Oh my gosh! And there's a different code for the down. Oh my word. Holy cow. We got to celebrate this. We got to do all the celebrations. Yes. 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 I even did stop. I even did the stop button. Like right now, there's the stop button. Oh my heavens to Betsy. We're not totally done, but at least we got it. We got the codes. Holy cow. All right. Well, let's read through this then and figure out what we have to do next. Needs to be converted. Okay, here we go. We're going to convert it. Online process. Enter this. We get the code. Online converter. Okay, you got to grab the whole thing, including this RF raw stuff. So, and then we'll have to put a squiggly bracket on the outside of that. Okay. And then it needs a squiggly bracket here. And now we can convert it. Okay, now what do we do with that? We converted it. We'll return the resulting B0 string to use in setting up commands in the RFBridge. Okay. It did it! It worked! Peter, you wonderful... Now how do I stop it? Yeah! Yes! We did it. We did it. We're going to celebrate again. Man. Oh, that feels good. I can't say I achieved victory in this one. This one was definitely all Reese and Peter. I think what I'm going to have to do is set it up so that it does an MQTT message that will send RF raw. So we cannot program these buttons to do that. So I can't just go RF key 1 and have it send. You know, I'll have to send a MQTT command from Home Assistant to the bridge, and then the bridge can send out the raw command. Or Node-RED, or a script. Yeah, I should be able to take this, paste that in there. And then I should be able to take this as the payload. Copy that. Well, the payload, in this case, I should be able to just do this with the payload. It worked. That did it. That did it. Did it. Backlog to avoid constant RF decoding on the bridge. Okay, let's try that. If we use backlog, so if I use backlog here, with backlog, we're doing two different commands. We're doing RF raw and then all this, and then we're doing another command, which is RF raw and turn it off. Okay, that still works to start the motor. And when we go back to the bridge, we've turned off the RF. Okay, that's it. I understand. It only took 2 hours. Takes the load off the RF chip for having to receive the code all the time. Got it. Got it, Peter. I like it. All right, now we have successfully finished. We got the RFBridge flashed with Tasmota. We got it flashed with Portisch. We got the Zemismart battery-powered RF shades motor working through Home Assistant with MQTT. Whoa, massive success is right. Yes. Tired? It's nap time. Okay, so this time for sign off, I have an idea. We're gonna sign off like we just won the championship because that's pretty much what happened today. Yeah, we accomplished everything that we wanted to accomplish, and sometimes it was hard, and sometimes we had to do things multiple times, but we stuck with it, and we kept going, and we got it done. So we're gonna sign off like we just won the championship. Okay, you guys ready?
As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, adios! Woo! Let's go.
If you need help or want to chat with me or others who also enjoy projects like this, you can find us on Facebook and Discord. If you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, you can use my special product links in the video description, or head over to Patreon, or just like and share my videos. That's easy. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, this box will take you to a playlist of some of my favorites. In addition to videos like this, I also do live streams every Sunday. This box will take you to a recording of the latest live stream. That's all for now. Adios.